Hi there. My name is Cantor Rebecca Moses, and I have the privilege of serving Temple Sharey Tefilo-Israel in South Orange. I'm honored to have been asked to share a bit of Torah with you today. This week's Parashat, Beshalach, is powerful. It is rich in narrative. It relates the moment when, after countless false starts and multiple plagues, the children of Israel finally leave Egypt. They make their way to the Sea of Reeds, begin to panic when they realize that the Egyptian army is pursuing them, and just as they were about to lose all hope, Moses lifts his staff and the waters part. Finally, at long last, the long enslaved Israelites are about to cross to freedom on dry land. It's a pretty spectacular moment. As I reread the portion this week, I found myself focusing on that first step, the one that the Israelites had to take from the safety of the shore into the bed of the Sea of Reeds that just moments ago had been covered by water. That first step was not merely a step, it was a leap of faith, because they had no idea what lay before them. But they took the risk, and because they did, we are here today. When the waters parted, the barrier to freedom, that is, the water, was quite literally removed from before them. What had been their stumbling block just moments before was suddenly gone. The path forward was now clear, and as a nascent community, they could move forward together. Now, God could have guided the Israelites out of Egypt in a myriad of ways. God could have sent boats or rafts to carry them across the water. God could have given them the ability to literally walk on water, or, despite being slaves who undoubtedly had not taken swimming lessons, miraculously know how to do the backstroke. It's not out of the realm of possibility, since God is, God. God could have chosen any number of ways to move the Israelites from slavery to freedom, but God chose to have the waters part. That in turn required our ancestors to walk from slavery to freedom. God made it possible, but they had to make an effort. It wasn't merely handed to them. Thus, one of the lessons that emerges from this portion is that in order for us to be truly free, we need to be partners in the work of freedom. And as we have learned over the last year, even once freedom has been granted, or from a domestic perspective, rights and privileges have been achieved, we need to continually work to safeguard those rights and those freedoms. But there's another lesson that emerges from God's decision to force the people to walk through the parted sea rather than provide another path toward freedom. That decision meant that everyone in the community was able to participate in that freedom march. It wasn't just those Israelites who were good swimmers or good walkers who were able to make it from one shore to the other. The path to freedom was made available to the entire community, and the fact that each and every community member was welcome and able to participate in the Exodus meant that when they reached the other side, the celebratory music they created was even sweeter. That first step they took into the now dry seabed was a leap of faith, but it was harder for some than others. Those who were infirm or physically limited for any reason may not have been able to swim if that had been the only option. But they or others may have also had difficulty walking on the slippery seabed. So the fact that the entire community crossed together suggests that each and every community member was valued so highly that those who may have had trouble walking must have been supported and helped by the other members of their community. Thus, the crossing of the Reed Sea not only reminds us that freedom takes work, but it sets the stage for our community's commitment to work together to make sure that each and every person in the community feels welcomed and valued. The start of February means we are about to begin the Jewish Disabilities Awareness, Acceptance, and Inclusion Month. This is the time dedicated to asking ourselves if our Jewish community is aware of the needs of our members, accepting of the differences that only add to our strength, and inclusive, so that all may feel seen, welcomed, and valued as both individuals and members of the community. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough, Rabbi Sidney Greenberg wrote, to receive all who hunger for love and who are lonely for fellowship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. As we work to ensure that the doors of our synagogues and our community are open to all, we are challenged to ask ourselves if we actually are as welcoming and inclusive as we assume. It reminds us that we have to do the work and that the work never ends. Are we following the example God set when the sea parted? Are we working to remove the barriers to entry? Have we provided the assistance we know many need or merely giving it lip service? Are we continually asking ourselves these questions rather than assuming the important work done in the past is enough? We have to protect the safety that may be found in our congregations by truly listening to the needs of those who enter, and we must respond in ways that might seem both so simple and so miraculous all at the same time. Large print prayer books, hearing amplification, sensitivity to those who are neurodivergent, asking for pronouns and using them, ensuring that all Jews are welcome to join with our communities, ramps and chairlifts. These are just a few of the things we can do to live up to the ideals of our tradition. Shabbat Shalom.